Welcome to Leetcode JavaScript, a channel where we solve every single Leetcode question using JavaScript. Today we have Leetcode number 3, longest substring without repeating characters. This is a medium question and a relatively popular question, so you may encounter this in an interview sometime soon. So given a string s, find the length of the longest substring without repeating characters. And we have a few examples to illustrate this. For example, we have this s is equal to the following string. You can probably right away realize that the longest substring that doesn't repeat anything would be ABC, right here at the beginning. And we're going to return the length of it, which in this case is 3. Have another example where every single character is the same. And we simply return a single character which has a length of 1. Now, for this question, we're going to use a sliding window approach and aid ourselves with a hash map so we can keep track of whether something is repeated or not. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is take a look of any possible edge cases, and I believe the most obvious edge case here is simply checking whether s.length is going to be equal to 0, and in that case we're just going to return 0 because it's an empty substring and any substring of that is going to be empty as well. Now we're going to use a hash map here. I like to use the JavaScript object as hash map. You can use the map object if you want, but there's not much of a difference. And we're going to use a max variable to keep track of what's the current maximum. Now, for let I equal to 0, meaning we're using I to iterate through s, and we're also going to use the variable j to delimit the substring as we go through it. And again, s equals s.length, meaning we just use I to iterate through s, and plus plus I or I plus plus doesn't really matter. Any case, so whenever we see a character and that character is going to be s of I, we need to assign this to a hash map h so we can know where is it. So this is going to be equal to I, meaning if we have a substring that's, for example, AVA, the first time we look at A is going to be assigned to 0, and the second time we look at A it's going to be assigned to the index 2. And why is that? Simply because we want to know whether we've seen that character before and where is it. So we know that the second time we encounter A, this is going to be repeated. So we should cut the string right there and then and see whether a substring is a maximum length. Now to check this, we're simply going to check whether s of I is in h. And in this case, we're going to know what's the last occurrence of that. So then we're going to assign j, and j is going to be our upper bound for the substring. It's going to be equal to math.max of the current value of j and the value of si in h, meaning the index, plus 1. And I use the plus 1 because when you use substrings, we generally don't include the last index being shown, so we apply plus 1, so it's included. Now, after that, we assign the max to math.max, the current max, or I minus j plus 1. And I minus j plus 1 would be the length of the substring, of the current substring. Now, this is going to be repeated for every single character and every single substring combination. So at the end, we can simply just return max, and we're going to get our answer. Let's try running this code. Oh, okay, it seems that's been a slide mistake. Oh, there you go. I just made a small typo there. Doesn't matter. Okay, there you go. Now, after we run this, you can see it runs successfully. Let's talk about the size and the complexity of this. So the time complexity here is going to be of n, and the reason is simple. We use a simple for loop that goes through s once, so that's just going to be O of n, where n is the length of s. And the space complexity is also going to be O of n, because we're going to be using h as auxiliary space, and in the worst case, we're simply storing every single character, which is equal to the same length of s. So that's it for today. Thank you very much for watching, and don't forget to like